Hey, hey, hey. Another exciting episode of Super Desperation Radio. Hey, another exciting episode of Super Desperation Radio. Hey, another exciting episode of Super Desperation Radio.
I don't know what happened there, but alright.
Sorry, the echo from YouTube decided to start when I wasn't looking, and for some reason it always has the audio up.
Well,
anyway. Hey, whatever.
Another amazing intro by Hell Pocket.
I think this has become like the Dick Van Dyke, where he just kind of, fucks something up at the beginning of every episode.
You know,
I feel like he's the permanent. I feel like he's the permanent shock master. Like he's supposed to make this grand introduction, and then he just trips, and just the stormtrooper helmet falls off. And
well, I know what Chris is getting for Christmas.
Good luck fighting one of my size.
Welcome back to Super Desperation Radio. We took a week off last week because we're lazy. But
hey, it was Labor Day, and on that day, I don't feel like doing any labor.
No,
that's
like
true.
I told you, it was a day to thank all of our mothers.
I think that's called Mother's Day.
No.
Yeah, that's different, guys.
What you guys are talking about?
Jeez.
But more importantly, on Monday, Chris found out he's gonna be a dad.
Yeah. That's
Let's
right.
go, Hell Papa.
Papa Pockets.
Yes, Papa Pockets.
There will be a mini pockets Hell Papa.
I like Hell Papa better.
Hell Papa's pretty good.
Yes, that's a respectable name.
That seems like a real name.
Yeah, it does.
Hell Papa.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a much better name than Hell Pockets. So I think we'll just change your
I guess
handle.
it would be, yeah. Like I came up with Hell Pockets because I lost a match to Hans in tournament. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I love how all these people in chat are already like, hey, yeah, there's gonna be mini pockets. He's gonna play Guilty Gear. No, I'm pretty sure his kid is gonna be more intelligent than he is. He knows he's gonna suck at fighting games, and he won't bother playing them.
Wow.
Wow.
Maybe he'll actually try to do something that involves making real money.
Yeah, most likely. I will tell my son, hey, you could either play Guilty Gear or you could be an NFL star. Choose wisely.
I'm gonna be his godfather, and that just means he's gonna be a bookie that knows how to break legs. That's it.
Even that would make more money than FGC.
Yep.
In other great news for the podcast, Sanchez got a job.
Woo!
Yeah, So, what people don't know is it's on commission. So, if you guys need drugs, I'll put up my email at the end of the show.
Wait, are you a door-to-door salesman?
I might be. If by doors you mean corners.
Okay.
Dark alleys,
Yeah, dark alleys, It's I make the rounds.
Hey, man, as long as you know your territory.
Yeah, dude. It's like the greatest thing about having a job is, paying for all the luxuries in life, like food, shelter, and I'm pretty sure those are they're called necessities.
dude.
Yeah. Oh, really? What the shit? Man, I got this triangle upside down the whole time. The simple, bare necessities.
Sanchez spending what little money he had on diamond rings and jack.
Dude, my fucking Fabergé egg addiction. That guy was telling me to stop, and I told him I'll tell him when I've had enough Fabergé egg.
Oh, man, yeah, you don't want to get that on that Fabergé egg, hit cook, because, you find yourself sitting in the alley just shattering them against the wall. I used to have a life. He took them from me.
I used to be somebody. Then Street Fighter 4 came out.
Street Fighter 4. Oh,
But
yes.
yeah, a lot of good news in the SDR chat. Hell, Gibby and Walkman might even have potential jobs. Nothing guaranteed.
I might actually have a career.
Yeah.
Well, technically, mine would be a career too,
Awesome.
You guys are crazy.
and I'd be getting paid more than all of y'all. Yeah.
Really? Even more than me? You would still live in Lancaster.
Yeah, that's the downside too. God damn it.
Are we talking? What are we talking here? We talking like six figures? We talking? Wow. Man, I look like a piece of poo-poo now. Poo-poo doo-doo.
Doo-doo caca.
But once again, it comes with the fact that I still have to live here in Lancaster.
Yeah.
Which will be
Still.
What
I
good
mean-
is money when you're dead?
Yeah, see?
What good is money when you live in Lancaster?
Yeah, that's being dead, really.
More or less. Your soul is dead.
My soul died years and years and years ago.
God, I really hope everything pans out for us because things haven't necessarily gone our way. It's been a pretty shitty year, and I think this is the first step away from suicide. Yeah.
Well, see, this is the thing. Hell Pockets expecting a child is either a blessing or it's a curse. It's one or the other. We're gonna find out.
The lucky child, the one that like brings peace to the world.
Yeah, the golden child.
Second,
Or what if
second
he's like-
coming of Jesus.
What if he's gonna end up like Problem Child and they make
No.
a third movie?
See,
Oh
Tony.
no!
Yeah. Well, Walkman, you say the second coming of Jesus. I say the second coming of Gilgamesh. All right.
Oh wow!
First and greatest of kings?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. I just
A
hope
lot
he's
to live
born
up
healthy.
to. Chris.
One
Yeah.
step at a time, guys. And by healthy, I mean I
But
hope he has
there
a
was
penis.
gaming news that happened as well
There
over
was.
the weekend, and I guess even today.
So,
Well, I guess it was yesterday because they are a day ahead of us. And whatever.
Well, let's start with the simple crap first.
Yeah.
King of Fighters on Steam. This is the last week for the beta. The game is going to be released the 13th, which is this Friday. It's still on sale for $25. Save $5 if you purchase now before the game comes out. Otherwise, it's going to be $30. SNK is still working on the game itself. They haven't really touched the online code since version 6, I want to say.
Yeah, it's been pretty much the same.
So all they've been doing is working on UI, bug fixes, just problems like frame rate issues and stuff like that. And they seem to be getting it right, but once again, the online hasn't really been tinkered with. And I don't understand it. The online has been messed with, but people are like, oh, the online's getting worse. No, the online's getting better. And I don't
Actually
get that.
exactly the same.
Yeah, it's identical to what it was in that last version. Like, SNK puts up detailed patch notes. They tell you what was changed. And they even say, oh, well, the online hasn't been touched in this version. But people can't read. What'd you do to the online? It's terrible. People need to learn, read.
Read a book.
Reading comprehension is overrated, sir.
I mean,
Tony?
what's likely happening is the quality
All
of...
I'm saying is, books are for nerds. Okay, like we don't need no nerds walking around running this country.
You don't get to influence my child.
Eggheads, what do they know? Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, seriously.
So, yeah, once again, if you haven't purchased the game already, and you do want it, go get it. It is a great alternative to console right now, because I have not touched console KOF 13 at all. I mean, I've been using it on my computer. The game, to me, the game runs smoother. I get zero input delay. Not zero, but it feels just like arcade, where there's minimal input delay. It just has the native input delay that's already there. While on my 360 version, I do feel minor delay, and PS3 version, there's significant delay, which apparently people don't believe. I tell them that, but whatever. Get it now. You'll get to be part of the beta. You can play the game, whatever. And that's not really important. But you
Yeah,
actually get the game and support SNK. And hey, who knows? They might release more characters. They might, upgrade the game.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, I mean, it's like if a corporation thinks that they can make something a profitable venue, they'll actually put more effort into it. I mean, I'm just saying.
Maybe.
No, it's right. Like a lot of people think that like the game's just gonna survive on its own, and then like I saw somebody today posting about how they were thinking of asking for a refund for a game that's not even out yet, because they already have it on console, and it was like you already knew you had it on console, so
Yeah.
you clearly
man.
went into
He
this
definitely
thinking you
thought
would.
he didn't have the game on console, and he pre-ordered it because he forgot.
And he was like,
And
I
then
thought
when he found the game, he was like, "Oh, well, I need to get my money back."
Yeah, that's the thing I don't get. I've seen several people threaten SNK with refunds, and it makes no sense. Like, oh, what? The online isn't perfect. Well, I'm gonna get a refund. Screw you guys. You're not getting my money.
And you're
People
just
are
like,
dumb.
oh, great,
Yeah, sure. That seems like a good idea.
Yeah. It's a perfect idea. It's not a good idea. It's the perfect idea.
But the game I love, I will give it some tough love by not buying it again, and then hoping that they make another one.
Oh man, SNK's
Yeah.
kind of been down in the dumps, They put out King of Fighters 12 in hopes of just getting some money so they can keep working and stuff like that. I know. I'll try and grab them by the balls, thus make him wanting to be even more reluctant to release anything or do anything productive. And yeah, this is totally gonna help. Good idea.
Yeah, I
Keep
think at
freaking
this
going.
point, if you don't want to buy KOF on Steam for whatever reason, you have it, you don't think the online is going to be good. Those are pretty acceptable things.
Yeah.
But if for some reason you think that by holding off your dollars, you're somehow going to convince SNK of anything, I think time has proven that you can't tell SNK anything.
Yeah.
They're just going to either do or not do things.
It's like holding on to a life preserver to a man that's drowning. It's like, nope, you gotta pull yourself up out of that pond. Come on, dude. Like, come on now. Then you can have this thing that'll save you, but you got to do it on your own first. Like, what do they people expect?
I feel like trying to get SNK Playmore to do anything you want them to do is trying to train your cat. You can say its name, and occasionally it'll turn its head to look at you, but that's just coincidental. It doesn't give any of the shits about what you're saying.
It heard noise.
Yeah, exactly. It heard noise. It's like, huh? No. Okay, I'm gonna go play with this string in the corner.
I do want to say, though, this is actually the first time in a long time SNK is listening to fans, since they're interacting with people on the Steam forums, which is good, but, I mean, it's something they should have been doing earlier, because, SNK knows what a lot of the fans want, but they're not giving it to them.
And what they want is a new MOBA.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I just want to use T-Zoc, Justice Hurricane, Big Fall Hybrid, and that's it. I win the game.
Mhm.
I think that's the way it works now.
But yeah, KOF 13 release. It's Friday?
Yes, this Friday. Steam
Kind
says
of
it's
a weird
coming out-
release date, isn't it?
Yeah, games usually come out on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. But for some weird reason, Steam has it labeled as releasing on today, 14th, but it's actually coming out Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay.
Friday the 13th. Oh no.
Shut up.
I like that. Oh no, shut up.
Alright, on to better things, I guess you could say.
Those better things are Guilty Gear Third.
Oh wow.
Yes, I definitely
Got a
enjoyed
new
that trailer.
And with the trailer came two additional confirmations in Eno and Axel.
Classic Axel.
Yeah, exactly. Guilty Gear. No
Mhm.
X's, no nothing, Axel.
Hot pants Axel.
What'd you guys think?
I'm getting pretty excited, honestly. I'm always glad for the addition of more characters being shown off. I just like the at the speed at which things are being shown. I'm just curious, like, is this game going to come out sooner than we think it is?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Well, they said something like spring 2014, right?
Well, that's sooner than I already expected.
I remember somebody mentioned that, like somebody from their camp mentioned that time frame.
I
And that
imagine
might
like
have been for
arcade
Blaze Blue or
release.
something else. Yeah, for
I imagine
arcade
arcade
yeah.
release would have been like August, like or fall,
Yeah,
like
but
end of
making this
summer.
game look like a launch title, right? For PS4.
Yeah, I guess.
I have no idea. I don't know. Are they planning on doing just arcades and then they're going to wait the usual Arc Sys like 6 to 8 months before they port it? Are they trying to release it simultaneously? And there's a lot of things we don't know.
Well, here's the thing they could actually get away with here is that they might have finally realized that the arcade and console scenes are completely different. Because while I'm sure a lot of arcade players do own consoles, they don't generally play them competitively. They don't invite people over to play. They go
Especially
to
in
arcades.
Japan.
That's a very thriving scene. So they might
And
have
that's
realized.
true.
They might have realized, like, hey, we could literally release this simultaneously, and it would still make the same amount of money. Maybe even more, because then console players don't feel like they're so far behind arcade players, and let's start going to arcades while they're practicing at home on consoles.
What would be cool and probably totally unrealistic is if somehow they can connect to AllNet and play at home at the same time. Like buy like an AllNet subscription, and then if you have it, you can log in with your user ID on your home console and be able to play with arcade players or something. But I'm sure that wouldn't be fair because then people at home be taking quarters away from arcade players. It'd be hilarious.
That'd be too much of a temptation right there.
Yeah.
You have to use the honor system. Like, if you have a console, you only play 10 times a day. Otherwise, you go to an arcade.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what's looking to be console exclusivity, or at least Sony exclusivity.
Yeah.
For Arc Systems works going forward.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I can understand why they would want to do something like that, but it's just kind of insane. I mean, it's like an exclusive, probably without even a Sony deal. Maybe a little bit on their side, but I guess they just feel that, I don't know, their games aren't being pushed on the Microsoft platform as much. I mean, maybe they don't believe in the Xbone or whatever, but like that's kind of good. I mean, putting fire under corporation asses, like, because it's going to be a quality title that people are going to want. So, you know, maybe there was some sort of business practice that Microsoft didn't do properly, and now, you know, they're trying to like punish them for it. Like, hey,
well, I was going to say something like that. Like, I didn't want to bring up the whole regional thing here, but like, I wonder if this is some kind of backlash to like how Xbone was presenting itself to the world market. You know, and how it kind of turned into an America versus the world kind of thing. Like, if you don't have the Xbone, you're a fucking idiot, and, you know, enjoy your second-rate piece of cardboard. You know?
Yeah. I mean, this was kind of seen in the foreseeable future, though, just because of the new BlazBlue's only coming out on PS3, right?
That's right.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is probably going to be a trend for a while. I guess they just, I don't know. That's kind of crazy because obviously the Japanese market is probably based mostly on Sony, but what about the American market? I feel like it'd be split 50-50, you know?
Well, it is now. It wasn't always. I mean, remember original days? It was always Sony. Everything was PlayStation.
Yeah, we used to play everything on PS2.
Yeah, it was never an option. It wasn't an option, literally, because the one game that was on Xbox was like, you know, was Reload.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted to play CVS2 on Xbox.
Or Third Strike.
Or Third Strike. Or...
But like,
yeah.
The thing is that, like, it seems like when the Xbox 360 came out, like, most fighting game players were playing almost only on the Xbox, so they felt that the, you know, netcode was better and less lag and all that, but...
Well, it's because they were paying money for it, so, you know.
Yeah.
Placebo effect.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of feel it was like that, too. But some games definitely did seem to have stranger netcode. I'm sure Microsoft is a lot easier because they have their own infrastructure set up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like... I mean, honestly, it's just Sony has a stronghold in Japan, and then, you know, Microsoft has almost next to nothing, and then Sony still does well in America. So, you know, I guess it's just the more economical way to go.
You keep painting this horribly dire picture for Microsoft, but you don't realize that they don't need any of these games, you know, these anime games on their system when they have KI3.
Ooh. I can't wait to play my
I was gonna say
my 3-character game.
Look, man, when that game comes out, I'm gonna be having sessions. Except it's BYOC, and then also bring your own opponent and bring your own console and games or something. Fucking shit. Also, you're not allowed in my house.
I'm not letting you in my house. You gotta play.
Bring your own couch. Bring your own home. Bring your own electricity.
Bring your own baseball bat for me to hit you in the face with.
You also have to pay me a venue fee of $1,000.
The one thing I'm happiest about, and we kind of touched on it, is that console exclusivity or Sony exclusivity means no more shitty ports.
That's true.
I mean, well, basically, if there is a shitty port, the game's unplayable.
Yeah.
You're not going to have, like, we're going to play this console on this tournament, this console on this tournament. So, you know, it's not going to be everybody's playing on 360s, but Evo's on PS3s. You're playing this game, you're going to play it on one system, and there's not going to be any complaining, because that's what everybody plays on.
Mm-hmm.
But what about mysterious lag?
That's up for the ghosts, man.
But see, you don't understand. I train on a very specific model of the new PS4. You're playing on a second-gen one, which has different lag, so you understand my complaints here.
No, it's gonna be all about the monitors. Like, oh man, you don't have an Asus. I play on a BenQ at home. Oh, the Samsung's just so laggy, and you know everybody's just gonna like that's a bit off topic. But why do people gotta complain about stuff like that? Like, are you serious?
People been buffering their losses since 1992. That's not gonna change.
Dude, from now on, I don't even blame anything that's mechanical or digital or anything. If somebody asks me why I lost, the sun was in my eyes. It could be at night. I could have been looking directly at the sun. You don't know that.
The lights
My
went
left
out.
pocket, my left pocket was full of change, and my right pocket had nothing in it, so it was just off balance the entire time.
I was really
That's
off
with your
balance.
equilibrium.
It's like, come on. And then, but the worst part about the whole complaining about lag on hardware, or, whatever is going on, is that you like maybe felt lag, or you've convinced yourself to that. You have to stop the whole tournament and get the organizer and all this stuff. Like, sure, there's legitimate complaints, but when lag is like, everybody's just spouting it off as fast as possible. I mean, I saw things at Evo, and I'm just like, really? You're gonna call lag on that? Like, oh, he got the combo to kill me at the end of the round. Oh, that was lag. It's like, are you kidding me?
No,
Honestly, he
you
was
gotta
dialing
get
that
it.
shit in.
You gotta get it right. He got the combo that killed me at the end of the round. I never get hit by that setup. It was because
Yeah,
of lag. That was
never
the
got
exact. That was the exact way it happened. Which is
The lag.
Well,
shit.
guess what? You did get hit by the setup. Quit crying.
You got
No.
made look the fool.
But I mean, as we all know, there are legitimate differences,
Yeah.
and it is a pain in the ass when you're trying to when you're trying to train, especially if you're one of those people who actually thinks about that sort of thing instead of passing it off as an excuse later.
Yeah.
That if you're a serious tournament player right now, you almost need to have both consoles, just
Yeah.
in case. Because it's like, well, the majority of my tournaments I'm playing Marvel 3 or Xbox. But, that month or two before EVO, I have to practice on PS3 or I'm going to choke it up really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of money I want to try to win. It's really frustrating for people on many levels. And hopefully, the ports that are coming down the wire are going to be good. And so far, I think the last port that got messed up of an Air Dasher was Arcana 2 on PS2.
What would they? The second one, or?
Yeah, Arcana Heart 2 was when the speed of the game was all messed up and there were some glitches. I think that was the last time I heard of a port being really trashy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely differences, but yeah, like you said, as a professional player, especially if you're sponsored, like your sponsor can't just like get you the other console if you don't have it. I mean, their whole job is to play in tournaments and do well, right? And
Yeah.
it's not to make excuses. Do well, promote the product, and I mean, honestly, whiners are people that like, I don't respect. I don't want to buy their product. That's just bad publicity.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
I've been working on my excuse game hard for the last couple of months trying to look for a sponsorship, dude. Like, I got all of these prepped. I'm like, my chakras were out of line. I farted while doing a combo. Somebody might have spit on somebody else in a different country and, like, infringed on their rights. And that really affects me.
Can't that just like be sponsored by, I don't know, let's say like Panasonic, and be like, oh, the only reason why I lost is because I didn't play on a nice Panasonic television. Yeah.
There you go.
Buy
man.
Panasonic, guys.
Yo, man,
I'm
what
waiting for
view-
that one.
What happened to the BenQ monitor, man?
Yeah.
Dude, you know what would have been the sickest sponsorship to have a couple years ago is the Staples with the easy button. Like, just have that on every station with you when you play, and as soon as you win, you just hit the button and you, like, throw some guys some stationery and tell them to take notes.
I
Didn't
swear
it?
that somebody did this during Marvel 2.
Well, actually,
That
yeah.
was
it
a
was-
cable guy, right?
yeah, we've done this.
I was about to say, I feel like you're just retreading.
Why don't we just play everything on CRT like we once used to? Like, come on. Like,
Oh, but then we don't get the full HD 1080p experience.
I would actually be completely fine with playing on CRT.
yeah. I mean, if people are going to whine that much about lag, if it's going to cause that big of a problem, and on some models of TVs, I understand it is, but not with the standardized product,
Wait, hold on. What about laggy CRTs? I've definitely heard that complaint before.
Oh yeah, I've heard this from one. I forget his name. You guys might have heard of him. Sanford Kelly, I think his name is.
Wow.
That might have been it. Or
Yeah.
CRT's lagging.
He said he lost because the CRT was lagging in Marvel 2.
Wow, I've never even heard of.
That was really hard to stomach. I'm
I've
sorry.
heard of CRT lag. Like, I've heard of, like, upscaling just being too much for a certain, like, game. But,
Yeah.
that's only, like, those huge, like, fuck, you shouldn't be playing video games on this shit anyway kind of
Yeah.
screens.
No,
I think-
the situation this happened in was in a standard CRT, like regular old CRT they've been using for years at a tournament. All of a sudden he plays Marvel 2 on it, and he's like, oh, I lost because the TV was lagging. They're like, it's a CRT. Yeah, the TV lagged. And he didn't really understand what was going on. There's footage of it on YouTube. It's pretty hilarious. Go find it. I'm lazy.
I'm just saying, at this point, why do we even bother with televisions or monitors. Why aren't we just playing on straight up digital signage? Come on. No lag there. Come on.
Yeah, the main issue with CRTs is that they're heavy as shit. And moving them around, just dealing with them is a pain in the ass. Plus, finding them these days is actually pretty difficult.
I've got like 6 in my freaking in my storage, so if
we
anybody
can hold a major, and you can bring all the CRTs. Let's do it.
Yeah, we can do that.
There you go.
Dude, like, does anyone else have the thing where they drive past like a yard sale or something, or like a discarded TV on the side of the road, and it's a CRT? Yeah, you see the tube TVs, and you're like, oh man.
If I had room, I would have actually picked up about 4 TVs because for whatever reason, my neighborhood, in the last year and a half, people have been throwing away tube TVs left and right.
Nah, you'll never see that now. People are just gonna pick them up and then just take them to the dumps and salvage the parts now.
I swear I walked past the fucking HD CRT once.
Oh,
and I was like,
one?
Yeah, those things are so sick. Like the ones they used to use for like those old Beatmania games.
Yeah,
those things are so nice if you can find them.
Yeah, I definitely walked by one. I was like, oh man, I'm getting my car and coming back for this, and it wasn't there.
Oh, damn.
So either some hobo sick came up, or somebody actually knew what they were looking at.
Well, dude, I live like in a fucking college town, so there's like always like tube and CRTs are always getting thrown out around here, right? And like, there's been several times where I'm just like, I'm already hauling groceries, man. Like, could I just like fit this like this 42-inch in the back seat real quick? Nope. Well, maybe it'll be there when I get back, and of course, by the time I get back, some punk kids kicked it in with a fucking steel-toed boot or something.
Oh, that's
spray
college.
paint on it. And it just hurts. It's just like, why would you do that? Like,
you guys
leave it alone.
I carried a goddamn CRT back to my house.
And now you can't walk straight.
Exactly. I still carry the goddamn TV back to my house. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully this will minimize complaints. I mean, kind of falling back to what we were talking about. It would be nice. It would be great if we don't have any unknown lag on this version of BlazBlue CP, and it'd be great if Third was basically identical on PS3, PS4. Although I gotta wonder how that can work out.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. So, what do you think would determine tournament standard for the game?
I think it's gonna be PS4. They're gonna have to go with like,
No, well, here's the thing: is that what would force people beyond CERD, which is obviously not going to be exclusive to that console? What would force them to use that console for everything else? Like, people are still going to be playing Marvel. That's going to be a PS3 thing.
That's true. Yeah.
People are still going to be playing fucking Ultra or whatever the shit, and that's going to be a PS3 available as well. So there's nothing that demands the use of a PS4 outside of just being
something akin to how Guilty Gear Action Core came out for PS2 and Wii.
No, because that was different in terms of everybody was already playing on PS2, and the Wii was sort of an afterthought.
Yeah.
The issue here is going to be, are we now returning to the era of 4 consoles being used for a tournament? Because we have the Dreamcast for Marvel 2, and then you got different games on PS2, and then you have Super Guns for something.
I mean, that would definitely become a problem for broadcasters, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Who have definitely they've built their whole operation around the HDMI cable and the HD Fury, and all of a sudden you got this thing that you may or may not really be compatible with either. And plus, I'm pretty even the PS4 is going to offer its own streaming capabilities. I'm pretty sure they're going to have something to safeguard against external uses.
You think it's going to have HDCP on it or something?
I think so. Even more so than it
really?
does now.
See, I hadn't even thought about that.
Because I think that's their that's their game. Is like, hey, you're going to do this anyway, so you might as well be using our service.
Oh, speaking of which, do you think that'll cause lag? Having the additional processing power for streaming, like that feels like it would probably take a lot of power.
Yeah.
I definitely think if you try to turn on streaming on the system, it's going to lag.
There's maybe more.
Dude, if the PS3 lagged with just showing trophies on the screen.
Well,
yeah.
I think the PS3 lagged with that because it was added after the game or after the system came out. It was added, what, I think 2 to 4 years after the system came out?
Something like that.
I know 360s lag the same way, but 360 will lag when it's a blank screen and it tries to load up an achievement. It doesn't actually lag when an achievement just pops up mid-game.
Right.
If there's a moment where it's loading something or there's no action going on, yeah, it will lag. But PS4 or PS3, yeah, I always see that shit lag when the trophy pops up.
I honestly feel that PS3 is going to be a standard. More people are going to have it. It's going to have a larger base to play the game. Tournaments already have PS3s and stuff like that.
It's just going to be the measure what is the difference between the two.
Oh, watch! I'll have like PS4 will be the real version, because it's like the enhanced version by PS4, and oh man, that would be whatever. Anyway,
we could go back to the days of having PlayStation, like X-Men versus Street Fighter, where you can only play as one character.
Oh God!
At a time.
Unless it was like the same character, and then you can just like switch out to the other version of that character.
God, that was.
No, you could play mirror matches.
Yeah,
where if you pick like Ryu Magneto and the other guy picked Magneto
right.
Ryu.
Yeah. God.
As an Arc System Works fan, I'm going to show my dissatisfaction by boycotting the X-Bone version of Xrd.
Yeah!
Everybody's like, have fun with that, dude.
Man, and that's going to be the worst, too, because if KI ends up being big, and it could, and then you have Xrd on PS4, and that could become big, then you have TOs who have to have either PS3 or Xbox 360, and then those two consoles, and maybe all four, because if BlazBlue actually ends up being popular, you'll automatically need PS3, and Marvel guys don't want to play on PS3. Oh, that's a fucking hassle.
Well, Marvel guys don't want to play on PS3, but they've been forced to play on PS3 all this time, so I don't see that changing at all.
No.
Well, but a lot of tournaments run it on 360 now, though. Only Evo, I'm pretty sure, runs it on PS3.
I'm okay with listening to them whine.
No.
Well, it's if you're gonna whine, like if you have all the energy to whine, you should have the energy to actually, go out, get the console, and practice on that.
Hey, remember when they had Third Strike at Evo like a decade ago, and it was PS2, and everyone had pretty much acknowledged that it ran slightly different than the arcade? The arcade, haven't been standard for the longest time, and Evo even having super gun setups to accommodate that.
Yep.
People still fucking played it. So two things happened. People either showed up, having practiced on PS2 and played it and adjusted, or said, fuck this, and didn't even go to the tournament. We'll have our own tournament with blackjack at Family Fun. Definitely happened.
Yeah, well, that's...
Yeah, I mean, I guess that did happen.
We were willing to do shit back then. Now it's a little different. People
Please, Riot, fix my lag.
Yeah, why the fuck is Riot allowing Third Strike having laggy ports? I want to speak to Mr. Riot Games right now.
Come on, guys. Get on the ball.
Please nerf Hugo. His grips is too large and does too much damage in AoE. Is ridiculous.
Hugo Alt, 2 OP, nerf please.
Please nerf. Gigas need not be broken always.
Yeah. I don't know.
Off-lane Hugo, too strong.
It definitely feels like, obviously, the mentality of... Would you say there's about 3 generations now for fighting game scene?
Oh, yeah, there's
I think there's more like 4.
It's 4.
There's the hidden one in the middle.
Yeah.
Because if you're going by comic standards, you have Golden Age, which would be at the very beginning with your Watsones and your Tomos and your whatnots.
Yeah.
Then you have the Alpha era, which would be Silver Age, and then you have your Vias and your John Choi's and what have you. And then you have Then you have your Modern era, and that's the one that gets ignored because there's 2 modern eras in my opinion. There's everything before 2008 and then everything after.
Mm-hmm.
The so-called Dark Ages. Like, oh man, it was really bad for fighting games, even though there was a shit ton of fighting games being released.
No, man, that was Age of Conan, dude.
There's an age of fighting games that started around 2000, 2001 with SRK.
Yeah.
Like Shoryuken.com basically created an entire generation. and those are the people who came up and were like Justin Wong playing Marvel 2 and becoming big. A lot of the Guilty Gear players are from that time period. And that basically continues up until 2008, and then 2008 is, Street Fighter 4 generation.
Right.
Yeah.
Post-warring states.
Exactly. So I mean, I look at 4, and you could argue for 5, because there are people who came around like 2005, 2006 that aren't quite, the new generation. They're not quite the old modern generation. So.
Well, you also got to wonder about the people who were kept playing continuously, despite the fact that Capcom wasn't producing any games. Like for anime players, there's 5 different generations with 8 different family trees, and
yeah.
I'm second gen, Melty twice removed.
Man. A lot of people assume that a lot of anime players crossed over to other games easily, and it wasn't the case. A lot of cats just played Melty or played Arcana or played fucking whatever, right?
Oh man, you came in at Cadenza version 1.02b. I've been around since Melty Blood 1.07.
We're not even playing the same game, bro.
I had a dedicated rig.
Yeah, you actually just described the KOF community.
And
man,
KOF who were just a bunch of guys who were just the triad.
Yeah.
Ah, man, the KOF thing is just like the Templars came by and just burned everything. We don't know anything about them. It's in some savage fucking land.
Yeah, I feel like
no written records remain.
Yeah, the King of Fighters community always makes me think of, let's just imagine a big empty warehouse, and then there's just kind of 3 or 4 people grouped together on each corner.
Yeah, dude. There's nothing written down for SNK community. It's just,
random videos.
A lot of oral history and a lot of wrong answers.
Yeah, there's
a lot of bad answers too, really bad answers.
You know what's weird? The only things you can't find written histories, but you can find video history only if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because nothing's labeled with a tournament date or a place. It's just here's this guy playing this guy.
Yeah, it's
in
really
the
hard.
details, it says the actual tournament this happened at.
Well, no, it's made it even harder ever since YouTube has gotten rid of visible tags, or have gotten rid of tags altogether.
Sure.
So before you would have things labeled oh, I want to see, Gibby play Mark of the Wolves against such and fuck, right? Now it's next to impossible to find. So the only way I can watch my boy Gibby beat the shit out of Dark Geese is if I specifically type the name of the video that's unlisted as Gibby wallops the fuck out of Dark Geese Part 1.
Mad Bad Trash gets dumpstered by the Manchester.
Oh, shit. No, the thing I wanted to bring up was I do Paul, like you were saying, how there is possibly that some would argue that generation between 05, 06.
Yeah,
I do feel there is that, because there are a lot of people believe it or not, a lot of the KOF guys started around 04 to 06, around that era. They came into the scene with KOF 11, KOF Neowave, a lot of the games I feel are subpar compared to other King of Fighter games. Or some just started with KOF 2002 because that's what everyone was playing around them. The same could be said for a lot of the Guilty Gear players. A lot of Street Fighter people actually started playing Street Fighter when PS2 and Xbox versions came out of
Anniversary
Third
edition.
Strike. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely an influx of people after Justin, the Justin Daigo moment, when 3S basically had its renaissance, so to speak.
And that
would have
actually
been around that time as well.
Yeah, that's actually what brought a lot of people into the fighting game scene. When I would talk to a bunch of people at EVO 2005, when I was talking to people oh, well, why'd you come to EVO? Oh, I saw Justin Wong lose to that Japanese guy, and it was just so amazing how it happened. I wanted to be a part of this. Oh, what'd you play before this? Nothing. I mean, this is my first time ever coming here. I just picked up Street Fighter 3, and it's such a good game. I'm oh, Third Strike? No, I have one called, W Impact.
W Impact.
Oh, yeah. It was the Japanese version of New Generation and Double Impact.
Oh, sweet.
So it had both in one. They would import that, and I'm like, wow, okay, I see the way it is. And in terms of finding shit for the SNK scene, yeah, you're not going to find much written down, which sucks. A lot of the forums that were around before are dead,
or
Name a good cause.
No, one of them was actually good, and I was actually really disappointed when it went down.
Fear Slash.
There you go. God, that was actually good.
Yeah, Fear Slash was okay. So from a competitive standpoint, Fear Slash was and is still the best SNK website. It was a bunch of us dedicated to making it good, making people get better at games, providing information. No, there was no fanboy shit at all. Like that's something I loved about it. It was like SRK in the early days. Like the SRK character forums back in the day, they were hardcore talk about character shit only. Like, oh, what you think Chun-Li would do better if she had a skimpy outfit? Get the shit out of here, you're banned. I loved that. I really loved those days. Fear Slash was pretty much that. We wrote a bunch of stuff about different games. We had Samurai Shodown section, Last Blade section, Mark of the Wolf section, KOF section. We didn't have a Real Bout section because truth is, at the time, Real Bout wasn't really too big. You had like you went on Kylera and you would see like maybe 15 people tops playing King of Real Bout 2, Real Bout Special. For the most part, everyone agreed that Real Bout 2 was the standard for Real Bout games. That was the game to play. Until what was it? I want to say 06, 07. When Dark East was trying to argue with people saying that Real Bout Special was the superior game because the character he used, Mai, was better in that version. That's not. I mean, that's simplifying what he said. If you read all the stuff he said, he provided arguments on why Real Bout Special was better, but it ultimately came down to Mai is better in this game. That's why it's a better game. What else was it? Actually, I'm sorry. Well, Fear Slash, Dark East wasn't around for Fear Slash. There were a lot of people who were not around for Fear Slash, and it actually the website died shortly after Mummy B died of cancer. A lot of people have no idea who Mummy B is. He was a member of, if I remember right, the Florida scene. It was Florida or Atlanta, around there somewhere. He was a really, really good guy, and he wanted the scene to do better. He was part of the Capcom scene and part of the SNK scene. He's like, you know what? Let me actually try to help the SNK scene by making an SRK for the SNK community, because SRK at the time did not respect KOF. It didn't respect anything. Oddly enough, the only game that got any action on SRK that was an SNK game was Mark of the Wolves and Breaker's Revenge. Breakers because people thought, and Karnal's Revenge. Those three games. Mark of the Wolves, a lot of people played it. Bucktooth was one of them. A lot of people saw Bucktooth playing it. They're like, oh, you know, this is something that's good. If Bucktooth is playing it, this guy is like my CVS2 idol. I have to play this too. I got to give the game respect now. Oh, it's Third Strike of SNK. Oh, well, that's cool.
Oh God, I remember those guys.
Breaker's Revenge because people compared it to Alpha. What else was it? Yeah, Breaker's Revenge was compared to Alpha. People loved it. It was just it's stupid good. Like you can pick it up, get into it right away. And then Karnal's Revenge. I mean, everyone just loved that game because it was pretty much the old generation of fighting games. It was pre-alpha fighting games. It's if you played ST, you can play Karnal's Revenge. But simple fact is Karnal's Revenge is broken as shit compared to ST. But it's fun. It's the fun kind of broken until you play a Zazie that knows how to abuse stand light kick into fast hands over and over, stunning you. Yeah, see, Tony knows what's up.
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of different time periods and a lot of things you can be argued for. So.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you guys want to know anything about the SNK scene between 1992 and 1993 till now, I will give you answers.
92 and 93?
We'll give you good answers.
Yeah, like I will give you the actual shit that happened. If something bad happened to me around that time, because I tell people I was an amazing 98 player, amazing Mark of the Wolves player, all this shit. I was even good at Capcom games back then. But I lost. I will tell you of my losses. I won't hide them. I won't delete. Oh, there is no footage of half of my losses or wins. But I won't hide anything from me. I don't care. My losses, I lost. Simple as that. I've lost to Justin Wong in SNK games. I've beaten Bucktooth in SNK games. I've lost to Bucktooth in SNK games. So I don't care about trying to make myself seem as if I'm better than I really am.
Because nobody gives a shit about who Gibby is.
That's what.
Nah, dude.
I mean, to be
if
fair,
Jimmy
though,
was like marketing himself better and just started making up a bunch of unverifiable wins, he'd be the fucking best. Like, yeah, dude, there was a fucking like after party tournament at 8 on the break. Like, Justin was really drunk and I beat him like first to 5 at Marvel, and I won his car at the time. That's why he doesn't drive anymore.
You gotta be more opportunistic,
Damn.
like King
That's a
Juggalo. That guy knew how to jump
sick-ass
on a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, King Juggalo.
Another
the
person,
legend.
yeah, King Juggalo's
The legend.
Another person to ask is Nocturnal. He's also honest about everything that happened, but Nocturnal's been a part of the SNK scene since I want to say 02 to 04. He's been playing. He's been a part of the Capcom scene much longer than that, but he started with.
Yeah, be talking to the mic more.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, Nocturnal's been a part of the SNK scene since about 02 to 04. He's been a part of the Capcom scene since way before that, like the early 90s. But he got big in the SNK scene around 02, 04. And he's also someone who's honest about everything. He and I hate our losses, but we're not gonna hide them. We're not ashamed of them. And all of our losses we've actually avenged. So yeah, amazing.
The worst part is when people have like all these recorded matches and then like they only put up the ones where they win and like even though like
I
they're
love doing that shit.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds like some Hell Papa stuff. Right there.
So, yeah, I really hate people that do that. That's one of the reasons why I give a ton of people shit. I'm not screw this. I'm not even gonna do that. No.
Hold on, let me just check my YouTube subscription. See
Uh-oh,
if it's updated. Let's see what
You
Pikachu
almost-
Akuma's up to.
Gibby, are you about to hit critical mad?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
serious shit.
actually
I'm
stop himself
so
from
ready
saying
to-
some shit like that.
I'm not gonna do it. This is
Why
this
don't
is
you, why
not
don't you
the.
type in
Yeah,
the chat and we'll say it for you.
this isn't the online show. We're not gonna do this.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. We're not touching that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just get pissed off, and then things that I keep bottled up because I don't feel like bringing it up come out. And then,
I'm pretty sure I've heard it before anyway.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah, you a lot of this. Let's just say there are a shit ton of people in both the SNK and Capcom communities who have lost plenty of matches and had them recorded and did not upload them. One being a very prominent figure in the Capcom community lost several matches to one Nocturnal and did not upload a single match. Also lost several matches to me. Same thing in Street Fighter 4. Yet somehow,
Dude, I'm right here.
Oh, sorry, Alex. Damn it! It was figured out. Damn it.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
trying
like,
not to blow
actually,
up over
it
this.
might have been somebody else, and that person might have kept it. I think that person that you're actually talking about is going to keep those things hidden to the max.
Yeah,
Yep.
that
You know
shit's
what I
buried
mean.
in the landfill underneath those Atari games.
To the max.
Yeah, but like if any of you guys record matches of yourselves playing, just upload everything. If you get humiliated, it doesn't matter. Upload it. It actually helps you out in the future. You think, oh, well, someone's gonna make fun of me. Oh, it's gonna say I'm free and I'm salty. Oh, shit
Man,
about
stop
it.
That's
before I
insulting.
throw you off the podcast, dude.
Yeah, that shit pisses me off. Just play the game. You win, you win. You lose, get pissed off. But still, keep your footage around. Let people see how you lost. Let people see how you won. Don't try to play it off like, oh, I'd have won, but he just
Sun was in my eyes.
Just
Yeah,
do what I do,
sun was
man.
in my
Just,
eyes
like,
at
just
Evo.
Use crappy recording equipment that fucks up the videos all the time.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, check it out, my Black Magic intensity. Oh man, all the audio's broken.
1080p, dog. HD bypass. Oh, the audio got desynced.
the best was in the shaky cam days where
Oh,
people
man.
record a match, and then when if I'll have Hell Pockets record my match, and when I'm losing, Hell Pockets knows, got to turn the camera
the
away. Turn the camera
Drop
away.
the camera.
Oh no, you can't see what's going on. This is we can't upload this to the internet. It's too bad. Oh, we're sorry, everyone.
I'm sorry, I can't upload the video to the internet because I was too busy using the camera to bludgeon my friend's enemy to death.
Well, and just to go on with what I'm saying about how Knock and I don't do that. Every match that's ever been recorded that has me and Knock on it, we upload it. Like if it's me or Knock, not the two of us. Like no matter who we're playing, it's been uploaded. So you see footage of us winning or losing, and you see people in the comments talking shit to us. And we're like, oh man, that's hilarious. I love it.
Are those all uploaded on Nox channel?
If it's Mark the Wolves, yeah, it's uploaded on Knock's channel.
Okay.
I had some stuff uploaded to my channel. I honestly don't remember what it is.
I think
YouTube.
it's just that one time me
YouTube
and
is
you
scum.
did fucking Garo. It was me, you, and Knock on GG.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, that was hilarious.
I'm pretty sure that's on your channel.
Oh, it probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Knox channel is used for the more serious stuff. Jab. Yeah.
Just a good time to bring up my my wonderful tirade.
Speaking of hilarity,
Yeah, hilarity.
yeah,
That's what
so-
we're gonna call this.
Go for it. Alex.
Because I don't know how many of you watched the FGC panel, and I hope you can listen to me doing these air quotations as heavy as possible. That they had at PAX. And of course, there's usually interesting questions there, some of which we're not experts and we won't touch. One of which actually really fucking pissed me off because nobody settled the question immediately. And it was kind of allowed to run its course and accepted as truth. So some guy comes up and asks, this is paraphrasing it, but basically asks, why are fighting game players so talented that those skills don't reflect into real life, fucking functions? Like, they only have GEDs, or they're lucky to have college education.
Come on.
Like, what the shit was that? Like, when he tries to compare us to, like, FPS or RTS players or whatever the fuck MOBA, fucking competitors, and I'm just thinking to myself, where did you get this assumption that, for the most part, these fighting game players are all bums? Because that's not true. Like, we'll joke around that there's, a bunch of fucking homeless dudes sitting around in some dude's apartment fucking playing fighting games. Because for the most part, that's true in some pockets of, the country, East Coast. But for everywhere else, it doesn't set a standard. Like, this is not a fucking thing that is true everywhere. When you consider the number of people that were prominent players since the beginning of these old fucking fight game things to... this middle era that we were talking about, like a lot of the Marvel 2 players who have come about in like 2004, 2003, they're all college graduates at this point. Potter graduated from UCLA, a bunch of these guys graduated from UC Riverside, and that's just in this part of the country. So where the fuck does this guy get off saying that everyone's a fucking bum? Moreover, where does he get off comparing them to fucking esports players? And I say esports because that's the blanket term we have for all these FPS, RTS, and whatever the shits. So, some really lazy research into esports players. I'm looking at their average age. They're all in their fucking 20s. Like, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck can they have any fucking success? None of these wiki entries that people have for these fucking players have any mention of them like, oh, he's a fucking brilliant guy. He's like, Doogie Howser. He graduated from high school at age 5. He got his college degree. Now he plays StarCraft. Look, fuck ass, that doesn't happen. The only mention I got of any career was some American player whose name I don't fucking remember, who was apparently a programmer, is now fucking like a full-time caster for StarCraft 2. Like, there's no other mention. Where's the success? Please show it to me. These fucking Korean players that are making a shit ton of money, they're only playing the fucking game. Where's the real life success in that? They are basically slave-labored to play an RTS for 10 hours a day. I don't care if they're fucking rock stars. That's a horrible life. So where the fuck is the success? What pissed me off even more is that the people on the goddamn fucking panel did not immediately acknowledge the question with, holy shit, guy, you are fucking wrong. Like, even the people on the panel themselves could have pointed that out. James Chen, college graduate. Gutex, a college graduate. Keats, college dropout. Markman, I don't even fucking know. He might have gotten to college in the Philippines for all I fucking know. So there's no set standard for what this guy even considers success. Like, the other problem I have is that this guy has some sort of fucking realized standard of what he considers to be success. And that doesn't work for everybody. Like, the guy said he's from, like, North Carolina or some shit, or fucking Connecticut, somewhere on the East Coast, somewhere where I picture only white people living, is what my point is. You have a really fucked up view of what you consider success, because college does not necessarily equate success. Sure, it helps. Sure, having a degree is something that is going to be, probably indicative of a person that's responsible, a person that's prepared, but it does not guarantee you any kind of fucking success, especially if you're going to one of these stupid-ass majors. Like, I love art. I'm not going to go fucking get an art degree or whatever this shit and be like, hey, man, they'll give me a fucking CEO job. It doesn't work that way. Like, this fucking stupid standard does not apply to everybody. Like, this success that he has in his head is not something that you can put as a blanket term that everyone needs to reach. We don't all have the same opportunities, therefore we can't be gauged by the same fucking standard. Like, the fact that that wasn't pointed out immediately to this guy and that the question was allowed to run its course, and that a lot of people who are interested into fighting games and, showed up to the panel and maybe see what it's about, suddenly realized, man, maybe I don't want to fucking play this shit. I'm going to be playing with a bunch of dropouts. Like, I fucking hung out with dropouts all my life. They're fun people. They might actually have jobs and careers now. That might be success. Success is different for different people. Basically, what I'm saying is fuck white people.
Wow.
I don't laugh at that part. I laugh
That
because
was random. I think my addendum to this is simply the fact that I have a college degree, I have a journalism degree, and even though I have a degree, obviously, if anybody knows anything about journalism, it's a very low-paying field. So what somebody else might equate for success is probably going to be thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars higher than what I would make in my ideal job. So it's very much that success is subjective, and that if you don't define the terms of what you consider success when you ask certain questions like that, then the onus is on you, the questioner, to establish that you aren't basically saying, "Lol, you're all poor."
Yeah, like it's so messed up that people just agreed to this guy's idea of success and just continued answering the question to that
or
standard.
trying to at least, right?
Or trying to,
how do
'cause
you
nobody
fucking
really-
because they're basically insulting themselves by answering the question honestly.
It's like, oh no, I'm not an idiot like the rest of these guys.
But
you
maybe
know.
it's their problem because they didn't finish college, and I didn't finish college. I dropped out like whenever. I barely finished high school. I don't even know how I finished high school. I didn't pass any classes, and I'm working. I'm a government stooge now. I'm about to have a kid, and I gotta say my biggest success, other than my child and my relationship with my girlfriend, is this show and my friends and being where I am in the FGC, and I think that's successful.
Yeah, everyone has a different standard. So, like, here's an example. I dropped out of college. I went to a vocational school. I got a license to be a pharmacy tech because the funniest commercial on TV happened to be like the Bryman one or Everest College as it is now. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. And I actually had a pretty decent paying job up until a couple years ago when shit got really sour. But, people could say that I was actually pretty successful. I mean, I evolved into a bum, but that's for different reasons. But you can't say that because of college I was successful. Like, I had some training which lasted a couple months, and that was it. Like, I didn't go to some fucking 8-year school and got a medical degree and whatever the shit. That didn't happen. So I'm not going to call myself a bum, nor am I going to call myself some sort of fucking, poet laureate and say I should be given the Nobel Prize for fucking mashing buttons. It just doesn't work that way.
They wanted to so badly.
The
Jesus.
Nobel Prize for mashing buttons.
Yeah. It's the Wong Prize.
Oh,
Yep. Look, man, I'm too mad to come up with anything clever.
I was gonna say that was not your best work, sir.
Things are too serious at the moment. He needs time.
Yeah,
Go
dude.
on.
And I make fun of white people for all this shit, but it's not even the case. I'm pretty sure this guy probably was some weird race because apparently we attract all the all the ethnics.
Well, we attract the people who they wonder why we haven't gotten to the level that these other video game organized religion shit is getting to. So there's bound to be a bunch of people asking dumbass questions like this because they literally don't know why we're not why aren't we making that kind of money?
That's something that's always pissed me off as well. When you got these people that are like, I don't even know what to call them. They're like the heads of whatever esports body things. Like maybe they're part of Twitch, maybe they're part of some shit. Maybe they jack off the Team Liquid, and God knows what they do. But they'll always be like, oh, why doesn't the FGC get their act? I mean, why can't you get fucking Monster to dump a shit ton of money and sponsor you guys?
Exactly.
It's like, well, maybe we don't have those kind of connections. Like, there's not that many people in the fucking fighting game community that were, business oriented.
We've got NOS, and that's only because they live here.
Really?
Yeah.
Gross.
I don't know anything about NAS. I don't drink any of that garbage, but
No, but it's exactly as you said. It's not like we can just say, "Hey, we're different now, guys. We totally learned everything, all our lessons from last year. It's going to be a totally different year." And you know what the weird thing is? They'd probably be like, "We don't want that. We want you to sell smut.
So
we want you to be the worst possible people you can be." And we'll probably insert some face characters into this equation, but for the most part, everybody hammered up on the scumbag shit.
here's another thing that people just constantly refuse to acknowledge is the cost of entry. for playing any of
yes.
these things. So, if you were a kid in the late 90s, early 2000s, you wanted to play a fucking FPS and get really good at it, that's the cost of a rig. Tony, you're a resident computer guy. How much would that have run you?
What, back in the day?
Yeah.
I don't know, like $600-800.
Okay. Now, let's say you wanted to just get really good at Street Fighter, whichever the fuck was out at the arcade. How much would that cost you per play?
I don't know, 50 cents to $1.
Let's say you were really good and you owned up everybody at the arcade. You'd probably spend like $2 a day, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
That's way less prohibitive than dropping $600 fucking dollars. Like, kids could fucking fund their arcade excursions with money that they got as from allowance or whatever the shit or any kind of part-time job that they had at the time, as opposed to saving up all this and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go fucking ham on Quake now. So there's these things that people refuse to acknowledge and just be like, oh, you know, just fucking everybody's got the same opportunity. It's America's the land of the free, man. We're all equal. It's like, look, man.
Let me tell you
We
something.
might
real
all be
quick.
from fucking, you know, rich fucking flourishing California. I'm from the projects. You're from Santa Monica.
They don't like my ass.
It might be
Yeah.
a little different, dude.
Yeah, the only thing that can compare it to is, you know, the advent of the, you know, LAN centers and, you know, like your PC cafes and whatnot. And that's only something that's come out of, you know, the mid 2000s. You know, fighting games have been going on for such a long time. You know, it was just it's easier to do now because I think even a lot of the professional players play a lot at LAN centers. You know, like they go out in places and just like buy hours and sit there and play. But I mean, it's not like when you lose, you've lost your quarter, you know, your payment. You just have time that you have put in there. It's more imperative to win in a fighting game than in anything else.
Yeah, it
Because
breeds a
people
different
get-
environment.
I feel like people get way more pissed off losing in an FPS game than they do in a fighting game.
Well, I've seen guns drawn over fucking Dota before. Like Dota 1, like going to the PC cafe that was above, or next to Arcade Infinity in the old plaza. And you would hear somebody just talk shit, and somebody would get up and just pull like a fucking gat out of their chest pocket. Be like, yo, who the fuck said that? Yo, who was the Earthshaker that just killed my courier and laughed about it?
Well, yeah, it was like that for fighting games back in the day too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's all this picture of griminess that we paint, and apparently people forget that, you know, everything has its kind of seedy underbelly.
Oh yeah.
Like, obviously fights are going to get picked over fighting games. I've seen fights over fucking Counter-Strike. Like, legitimate gang wars.
Jesus Christ, man! I can't even imagine.
But
Yeah,
like,
dude, like, you just imagine. It's like, oh, look, I'm in this fucking uppity, like, you know, nice neighborhood in Torrance, California.
I bet nobody's
Oh, wow,
expecting me to
it's
do this.
It's like, who would have expected that there was a bunch of, you know, Japanese influence and Korean influence, that they probably don't like each other, and that, you know, I'm over here trying to play my game of Gunbound, and then suddenly,
Holy shit!
suddenly these Counter-Strike sounds are sounding a bit more realistic than usual.
I thought you were saying it was like a gang fight over Gunbound because somebody got buns with the fucking cake bot.
Nah, dude, if somebody was aimbotting in Gunbound, that was like an ass whooping. You saw somebody just get speared over a computer.
Alex just sitting there and he's like, oh my god, it sounds like a 5.7. Oh, he actually has one. Oh, neat.
The fucking satellite's a fucking 100% accuracy with the fucking SS shot. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh.
Like, that was that shit. When somebody would pick Boomerang, and you're like, I swear
Fuck
to God,
yeah,
if
dude.
you get
It's
me
like,
on the
oh,
first
man.
shot. If you get me on the first shot.
Seriously. Always got to size them up with the fucking boomerang.
Yeah.
But I'd say we've gone pretty far afield from what the original point was.
Yeah, the original point is we don't have the same standard, or like the same opportunities. We can't be measured to the same standard. And people need to realize that.
At the same time, I'd say people are largely successful that play fighting games. You know, it's all in the eye of the beholder. They've done what they
Yeah,
want in their life, and this is where
I
they want
think-
to be.
I think it's like anything else. I think there's just a multitude of experiences and people who come to games for whatever reason. And every time you try to paint all of one group of people with the same brush, you end up looking like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not fair to you to basically put yourself in a situation where you assume something that's very clearly wrong, and it's not fair to them because basically you're stereotyping them and telling them that they are, you know, basically in this little box.
Yeah, like it doesn't work. Like you can't paint these like really broad strokes of just like FGC bums.
They try to.
No.
They want
Like,
to.
let's just for the sake of curiosity, let's go through here. Like we have a nice mixed panel. We have diverse races and our white guy. So Bachman, you've had some college?
Yes, I'm still in college at the moment.
Yeah, you're still in college. Gibby,
He's graduated.
yeah, Gibby's
I
graduated.
have a theater degree.
Good luck getting a job.
Don't you have more than just a theater degree? though? You
Yeah,
have-
I have several business degrees, but I hold my theater degree above them because my theater degree got me on stage naked. So eat shit, everyone.
Do you pronounce it or do you like give it the full flourish?
Oh,
like
the
theater?
theater.
Thank you. Hell Pockets.
I ain't got shit, man.
You work at a college. It's just counted as
Yeah, I
that.
know, that's why it's hilarious, right? I ain't done shit in my life, but I
Amazing.
work at a college.
Yeah, we got our boy Paul over here, white guy McGee, with his thing.
Journalism degree, yeah.
There you go. I forgot what it was. You said it like 2 minutes ago. And I've known you for a couple of years.
Yeah, you know.
I should probably write this down. Hold on.
Yeah, it's okay. Make a note.
Let's see. Paul, underline, journo, lies. Does that have two S's?
No, it's Liez.
Oh, Leesum. Degree and antiperspirant.
What's your point? What's your point, Alex? Get to the
I'm
point.
trying to say that we got a nice mix, dude. Like, this is like something that you could use that's indicative of anywhere. Like, look at all these people that were considered maybe once bums and just played at each other's houses. Like, they're doing pretty well for themselves. Look at Valle.
Yeah.
He's got his own business now, basically.
Yeah.
People just need to realize there's no standard. There's no standard for success. Stop admitting or stop agreeing with people calling you bums and laughing it off.
Yeah, you're better than that. You're
Because
better
if
than
people are
me.
going to keep thinking you're bums, they're going to keep treating you like bums.
Yeah.
Also, fuck white people.
Clean yourself up
no.
once in a while.
I just feel like, at the same time, it's like, yeah, I mean, sure, there's a lot of bad press. You know, we got the old Kotaku Inquirer writing up, you know, fancy stories or whatever. And I mean, like, yeah, it doesn't get a lot of good press. Everybody's always considered, it's like, there has definitely been dark times, but everything has stuff like that. I mean, what, do we hold the NFL for in any less regard when we hear about people having, like, AR-15s at their houses or, you know, things like that? It's like, oh, man.
Okay, Tony, you bring that up. The thing I love, like, okay, the guy pretty much said, like, oh, no college degree, you guys are bums and stupid. People do realize the majority of NFL players actually don't have college degrees.
Yeah.
They go to the NFL for 3 years, and then they get their big-ass contract. You listen to these guys like, oh, hey, or you see what people say about these people. Oh, he's an inspiration. Why? He made something of himself because he went to college, and technically he dropped out of college.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, they
that
definitely
kind
didn't
of,
finish.
and that
Son
feeds
of a
back into
bitch.
the weird loop about gaming as sports or not as sports, because then it becomes you have the wildly successful pro sports athletes, many of whom who don't have degrees, some of whom who didn't even hardly start college before they went into minor leagues or what have you.
Mhm.
And, you know, you compare that with pro gaming as it is now, it's basically what people who played baseball at the turn of the 20th century were doing. They weren't making any money. They did that shit for fun.
Mm-hmm.
It evolved into something, but that doesn't mean it always was something.
Mhm.
And I'm sure those people were looked down on just as much as a lot of people who play video games are. I'm not saying that I think that video games are sports. I'm saying that they both had a similar beginning.
That doesn't mean they're gonna have the same ending though. So
Yeah.
No, that's very true.
It's
Probably.
just people forget what, you know, they have a lot of like a selective memory. You know, they bring up what they want to bring up when they feel it's the time, and then they'll just, you know, conveniently forget about other things that are just like counterpoint. And then because this kind of stereotype, which, you know, oh, stereotyping is always a great thing to do in any situation. No, it's just, you know, that's the kind of thing like, oh, look at that guy, he plays fighting games, you know, he must be a loser, crackhead, dope fiend, poor, you know, jerkwad or whatever. And it's like, I mean, there's so many different things, like I mean, like, look, when Chris Hu's like house burned down, you know, the community got together and, you know, rallied together and got him some money and helped him out. Like, it's definitely, there's esports and it's like a sports league or whatever, but the fighting game is a community as a whole. Like, you know, we disagree with people, we have different regions, you know, but all in all, you know, we're still willing to help each other, and we're still willing at the end of the day to, you know, be friendly rivals or whatever. It's just different. and it's its own entity. Being compared to anything else is doing anything injustice. You know. Speaking of which,
I agree.
You
injustice.
mentioned something about injustice.
Yeah, man,
Somebody say
cut it. Oh man.
Did you hear they're buffing Bane?
I did hear that.
I didn't.
Well, it's because you don't pay attention to
So, one of the other things we wanted to bring up, and I'm sure many of you know now, PayPal is being a
Less
bunch of
unsavory.
jackasses.
Yeah, big
Uh,
Mr. Money PayPal over here.
It's so weird. They don't even like. They're the middlemen. Why? How can the middleman be
Yeah.
like the fucking dickhead?
So,
Yeah, like, oh, I feel like such a big man. Look at this. They're giving all your money to me. I'm gonna do whatever I want with it. You'll get it.
Yeah,
Don't
you know what
worry.
happens to that guy? He gets fucking thrown in the river. Like,
Yeah.
This guy sleeps with the fishes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, for those of you who have no idea what's going on, PayPal's withholding the majority of the money that was donated to the Yatagarasu people. They're only going to get up to 50% of what was donated until the game is released. And once the game is released, they need to provide proof that they're selling the game and some other stuff in order to get the rest. But
Which is dumb because they basically need to prove that they're making money off the game to actually get the fucking money.
yeah, so it makes no sense. I don't get it.
Honestly, it sounds like a gigantic scam. It's like, oh, we'll give you this money when the game comes out and when you prove it's selling, but we're going to hold money from you so that way you can't get it, and then it'll essentially default on the money, and we're going to keep it even though...
Yeah, man.
Why are you doing this? Like,
Yeah.
That's some straight, like, that's some Bank of America shit.
Yeah.
Like, we can't give you this money because we actually just bought some houses with this shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people really don't understand that. PayPal can default on your money at any time. If you have money in your PayPal account, they can take it from you.
Yep.
For whatever reason. And they can justify it legally. And they have all the lawyers in the world because they're a huge corporation.
And then all they gotta do is say, we'll give you IOU.
Yeah.
And they never have to pay it either. That could take forever. They say IOU scheduled to be paid off in about 96 years.
Yeah.
So-
The people over at New are trying to work this out with PayPal. They said they're going to contact them tomorrow, see what they can do about getting the funds earlier, or try all the funds deposited directly into their bank account or whatever. They said in the meantime, go send some tweets to @PayPalUK and @PayPal and tell them how much they suck without being a rude jackass.
Yeah,
Like
you
I
know,
am.
don't go ham on it. I mean, unless you
Don't-
want to, then I
Don't
can't
don't
stop
say
you.
what we're saying.
Don't say
Yeah.
don't say things that because like honestly, I'm talking out of my ass half of the time. But in this case, it's like you really don't want to put somebody like that on the defensive because that doesn't ensure that they're gonna do new media or they're not gonna do them wrong. Still, they might actually go even like double down on that shit and be like, this is harassment. And then they sue Yatagarasu's makers because they brought down the fury of the internet upon them when they felt it was undeserved.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
It's
I didn't have enough time to look at the story other than just the Cliff Notes version. It looks like, from what little I am understanding, it just looks like another case of a big corporation lording its rules over people who didn't, have the ability to know exactly what they were and were not capable of doing.
Well, I doubt.
Or
they
what?
ever-
Or basically, hey, you didn't read the fine print.
right.
Hmm.
But I
The
think
story
even if
is
they
old as
did-
time.
Even if they
And-
did, though, I felt like they wouldn't have ever thought in their wildest dream that PayPal would hold half of their money from them, so
Yeah.
before they could sell their
Well,
game.
you're right.
Yeah,
You wouldn't think that would happen, but
it did.
it did.
Well, they didn't
And
think
it
so.
happened to Skullgirls. And there's a post on the New Media Facebook page which says it happened to Skullgirls and another game that I've never heard of called Glass Up. So it happened to both of those. Now it's happening to them. This makes you wonder, so you have all these pretty big Kickstarters going on, right? You have one for River City Ransom 2, you have one for Shanti HD, and you have the biggest one for Mighty Number
Nine.
9. So Mighty Number 9 is at about 2 million and counting. They still have like 20 some odd days left. What if hypothetically, if they break 10 million, will they withhold the money from them? What what makes PayPal withhold money in certain situations? Is it the amount they received? Is it how small a company is? What is it exactly?
Maybe it's the amount that they made.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, any of these things could be, especially in cases like this. Especially, I would assume Chris is right that it's the amount of money that's been donated. There's probably flags that go off at PayPal.
Mhm.
Because obviously these types of transactions are relatively new. And I'm sure that there's a lot of different flags that go off. Is this money laundering? Is this fraud?
Yeah, I understand that.
Is this thing actually happening? Right.
Yeah.
And it's weird because with Mighty Number 9, right now, there isn't really much to show for it outside of some sketches and a screenshot and a really nice video. So that would definitely be very hard on Inafune's part to say, yeah, this is a real thing, before he would actually get to see it in his money. So PayPal could literally just be like, you don't get anything until you produce a demo or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know enough about PayPal and their rules about refunds, their rules about transactions, basically what money is protected. Because obviously, we know on a banking level how much of your money is protected. I don't know personally how much money of yours is protected on a PayPal level. I don't know if PayPal follows the normal banking rules and is covered by the FDIC.
Is this true? It says Kickstarter's uses Amazon payments.
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, even if it is like just a thing to say is that like if you have the ability like to get some venture capital or start your own PayPal like thing, like I think you should do it and just become the one credible one, and then from there everyone else will crumble and you'll be the victor.
Well, that's why I said I think it has
what's going to happen is you're going to get bought out.
Well, then you get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I was just going to say, that's why I think it depends on how much money they got. Because if it's like one of those things where it's like they suddenly funneled like $800,000 through PayPal and they're just like, okay, you can get 400 of this. We don't really have the funds ourselves to move this kind of money back and forth without taking a piece, of our own.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if this shit's legit. So.
Yeah, that's true. And it is Indiegogo instead of Kickstarter for Yarigarasu. And
yeah,
because I remember when Skullgirls happened, I think they took 20% out of the over $800,000 that they got, and they were withholding like 20% of it or something like that. And they're like, "Why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're afraid of mass chargebacks and things like that."
Yeah.
But I can understand why that could be a cause of concern. But it shouldn't take that long for a payment to be finalized. At a certain point, you can't charge back. So it's like.
Well, like I said, I definitely think there was probably a certain amount of money that was kept to cover PayPal's ass.
Yeah.
Just in case.
They're probably okay with letting go half of that money, but as long as they have themselves secured. So,
but that's the weird thing, because they wouldn't have lost anything, and then like a company or a person gets this money that they didn't even have in the first place, and it's given to someone. It's definitely coming from bank accounts, coming from these things. I'm sure they're afraid of chargebacks, but it's just like it's not their money.
I kind of got to feel like it puts them in a position where they were the medium it was transferred over, and therefore they experience some of the mud that is slung upon them. Should this actually be fraud? Like people are still going to say like Indiegogo, subsidiary of PayPal, then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly the lesson that needs to be learned here is that since I don't think any of us are doing heavy legal research in banking practices and things like that, it might just be best to avoid Indiegogo in the future.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I know
everybody should take a lesson from this and the Skullgirls and the other game that was mentioned. Just if there's a problem, don't use it.
Bakesale.com. That's what I'm gonna fucking call my shit.
There you go, man.
That's right, man. You donate $50, I'll give you a donut.
You and little Debbie can bake a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be donate buddy I'll make, and it's like we actually give people the money. No way.
We get you the money and we give you a donut burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for doing a burger right now.
For real. Well,
What?
fun simulator about this shit.
Anything else?
No, I think we actually managed to hit that last topic.
Mm-hmm.
I was amazed.
It was indeed a ranty episode.
Oh, it was one of the
Yep.
best. We always get one of those in like after we take a week break.
That's
Yeah.
true. We do kind of come back with the anger and the hate.
Shit
Oh.
festers.
Does.
Forgot to mention, Shanghai lost King of Fighters 98 tournament.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
World's gonna end.
Yeah, but he just lost to one of the guys who he plays with all the time. It's not like he lost to some unknown or something.
Yeah, man. Like if he had
Well,
lost to like
yeah.
fucking like like Yang Yao Ren or some shit, then we'd be like, oh man, it's a real thing now.
No, like so he lost to one of his training partners, or a guy that he helped train. The reason people are making it out to be something bigger than it really is because they have no idea who Lao He is. Like they just hear all they know from China is Xiao Hai and Dako. That's it. They don't know anyone
Well, you
else.
can't blame them for that. They're the only people that leave China.
No, it's even before they left
From
China, they were
98?
the only people they knew. So, yeah, I mean, this is the first 98 tournament Shanghai's lost in well over a decade, I think.
He pot split with Lao Hai.
I don't know. I don't care. Just don't bring up stupid shit like that.
Oh, what's that word? No, I'm not gonna.
If you say that word, I will beat the shit out of you.
Thank you.
Hey, when somebody here probably knows this better than I do. When is TGS?
Tokyo Game
that
Show
is
is this coming week, I believe. It should be next week.
This coming weekend?
No, next week. So I believe
Oh,
it's
next week.
Yeah, I think it starts the 17th.
Okay.
Apparently Tokyo Game Show starts the 19th.
19th?
Okay.
Or actually, yeah, that's probably
That's the business day.
yeah, that's
and
what I
then
was gonna say.
the
So-
public day, the last public day is the 22nd on Sunday.
Okay.
And
Well,
if you ever
cool.
go to Tokyo Game Show, you need to go business day. Go business day. Don't go any days after that. You're gonna die. Like
Too many
seriously,
people-
Smell
people
like
pass
foot and
out.
ass.
Like people pass out in Tokyo Game Show because it's so crowded and packed.
No, I believe it.
How much does it cost?
So hopefully at TGS we might get something more about CERD. Maybe we will, maybe we don't. I don't know. But considering they just did this reveal a week ahead of time, maybe Arxis doesn't care. But I kind of doubt that.
Well, it was Sony that did the reveal. They probably
That's true. It was
did
the
it without
Sony press
Arx.
conference.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get actual more footage of Axel and Eno. That'd be nice.
You mean Axel Rowe? Because they definitely misspelled it on the HUD.
Come on, man.
Oh, they spelled it R-O-W?
That's
Yep.
how you spell it in Japanese.
Well, I mean, on Double X, her name was Milia Arage, so...
Amelia Outrage.
Well, it's the same thing with Clark from King of Fighters. It used to be Clark Steele, S-T-E-E-L. Now it's Clark Steele, S-T-I-L-L.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's still like a lake.
All right.
No, I get it. So that's where the music reference for Millie comes from Milli Vanilli, right?
But obviously, given the fact that we're looking at Axel's original Guilty Gear outfit, and because May has original overhead kits and all that, I would think that him and Eno are probably going to be pretty basic back to
Mhm.
XX moves. So it'll be interesting to see if and when Eddie is revealed, what version of Eddie we end up getting.
Don't let it be Reload Eddie.
Boy, I
Don't
hope
let
not.
it be XX Eddie. What are you talking about?
They're
let it be
pretty
any
much
form
the
Eddie.
same.
Hey, why don't you just bring it back to Zato 1? Let's do that. Yeah.
With the fucking
Great.
with the free charge?
I don't know.
It'll never be Zato 1 again because the voice actor died.
Yeah.
Oh.
And nobody
That's
uses,
why. That's actually why he became Eddie.
Oh, okay, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, respect the lore, you piece of shit.
and
Sorry,
nobody
gosh.
wants Missing Link charge system back because that shit was stupid.
But yeah, so hopefully that BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma comes out in a month in Japan. So if you plan on playing that game, considering it doesn't come out in America until spring, I would place your pre-order.
Wouldn't hurt.
Other than that, I don't have anything. Dad?
Hold on.
I think we're done.
Let me look at my notes real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So class discussion about FGC panel poverty. Yeah. Paul, journalist. Okay. Buy milk. Guys, remember to buy milk.
Okay.
All right. Then we're good.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for listening as we assaulted your ears with mindless chatter and other tomfoolery. So for the rest of the cast here at Super Desperation Radio, this is Super FX saying good night and good luck.